Hey YouTube, Ray here, and I'm finally back with the full in-depth review of the fake iPhone 5C. And just a quick little disclaimer, I've had this phone for almost 2.5 months, and when I first got it I used it for about a week, and then after that I only used it every now and then. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get this review started. And so in this video we're going to go over call quality, build quality, processing, screen, battery life, camera, software, and then finally at the end I'll have my final thoughts and a conclusion on it. So the first thing we're going to go over is call quality, and as you know from the unboxing, this phone takes a nano SIM card, and that's the SIM card tray right there. And I had no problems with any of the calls. I didn't really experience any drop calls, and the call quality was pretty good too. However, I was only able to use this as a GSM phone and not on a 3G or 4G network. However, it is unlocked. This phone is unlocked, and so you can use it with any carrier you want. Or if you don't want to use it with any carrier and just not use it as a phone, you can just, you can still use it as like an iPod, I guess, as a music player. But anyways, again, call quality is perfectly fine. No data, no 3G or 4G, which sucks, but that's what it was. Next up is the build quality, and I gotta say, the best thing about this phone, honestly, has to be the build quality. As many people pointed out in the unboxing video, the real iPhone 5C does have a black, this white part here is actually black in the real phone, so obviously you can tell it's a fake since it has a white one. And the pictures on the website that I got this from, they show that it should have a black front here, but I don't know why I got a white one. And also the pictures on the website, they don't show any of these logos here, but when you do order it, they do come with it. It's like, so you get the iPhone logo and like the designed by Apple in California, and the Apple logo up here. And yeah, so as I said, I think the best thing about this phone is the build quality. Everything is sealed, it feels solid in the hand, doesn't feel like I'm going to break it at all by trying to snap it in half. Everything is flush, and these logos don't pop out at all out of the back. Everything's flush again here. Everything feels solid, and the whole front here, the glass and everything is also solid. Nothing's flimsy at all. Which is good for a fake phone. Usually they're not known for good build quality, but this phone has pretty good build quality. So now going in and talking about the actual phone itself, we're going to talk about how the processing was and the everyday use was. And this phone, they say it has 512 megabytes of RAM, and so it's not anything special. It does run smooth enough to use for daily use, and all my apps opened up fine. You do notice a little bit lag if you have a lot of apps open at the same time. And again, this is actually running Android and not iOS. It's just a skin that makes it look like iOS. But again, for daily, everyday use, it is smooth and responsive, and apps open up pretty quickly. And I think if you're going to be using this for gaming, I wouldn't recommend it, but everyday normal games in the App Store are pretty good. Maybe some of the graphic intensive games that you pay like $5 for, those might not run as well. But for everyday use, again, it was pretty good. Moving on to the screen is very bright and vivid, but it isn't as sharp as most phones. Some of the font can look blurry and well, not very noticeable unless you're looking at it very closely, but I noticed that sometimes it would look a little blurry, but other than that, it is very vivid, very bright, pretty good for this is like a $70 phone unlocked. You can't really expect much out of it. And the battery life on this phone here lasted me about 5 to 6 hours, just using it for normal everyday apps and a little bit of gaming and stuff here and there, a little bit of YouTube and stuff. So not that bad, again, for a $70 thing. Next, talking about the camera, this is supposed to have a 5 megapixel rear camera with LED flash and a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera. and I'll have some pictures up right now as I talk. They weren't, that great. Maybe not even 5 megapixels. So definitely, if you're going to use this phone as a camera, or if you're going to be taking a lot of pictures, I wouldn't recommend using this phone for that. But I mean, if you do need to take pictures every now and then, I'm sure it'll be enough. And so the last thing I want to go over in this video is the software, and it's not actually running iOS 7, it just is a skin on top of Android to make it look like it's iOS 7, and it does seem to be an older version of Android, which I think is Gingerbread. And of course, I mean, you're gonna not have some of the newer Android features in here, but it has a really heavy skin on top of it anyway, so I don't think you'd get those even if it was running ice cream sandwich or jelly bean or Kit Kat. But anyways, as I said, this has an iOS 7 skin on top of it, but even then, when you open some of the apps, they don't really look like iOS 7 versions. So let's say if I open messaging, this is like the iOS 7 version, but if I open up calendar, this is the iOS 6 version of the calendar, so that's a little strange. All these icons are from the iOS 7 version though. The maps are not going to be the Apple Maps, they're going to be Google Maps again. Also, the App Store is not actually going to be the iOS App Store, it's going to be Google Play, which is nice, and it's in full English, and it has all the apps, none of it's restricted. So here's the top paid, so you can see Minecraft and all that, and then top free, you've got Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Candy Crush, Skype, everything here that you would need, Twitter. And also, again, you can just go and search whatever app you want. So just Angry Birds. So there you go. It just, listen to my voice, search for Angry Birds, and they're all there. So you get the full version of the Android Play Store, Google Play Store, which is really nice. Final thoughts. I can't really recommend anyone buying this phone as a phone. I don't think it's really a usable daily phone for most people. I would just stick with the real thing or the real iPhone, even though it's like $600. But having said that, I think this is perfect for if you have a 10 or 12-year-old or 13-year-old who really wants an iPhone, and like most people, I don't think a 12-year-old really needs an iPhone, and I guess you could just buy them this and have them use it. Or this would be best used as a iPod, since it is only like $70. It's still cheaper than an iPod too. It's thin, it's light, you've got all the apps you want. You don't have to have a SIM card to use it, as I don't have my SIM card in right now, and this whole time I've been using it. So, and it has decent battery life. You can play music, videos, play any games in the App Store you want. And so I guess in conclusion, I would recommend this as either an iPod or a phone for kids. That's basically how I would recommend if you were wanting to buy this. But other than that, if you're looking to use it as a daily driver, as an adult or a teenager, I definitely could not recommend getting this phone. And so with that, I'm going to end this video. Thanks for watching.